Máme tady další video s americkou věznickou dozorkyní. Protože z touhle série videí se pomalu, ale jistě blížíme ke konci, tak dneska ještě trošku přiostříme. Mimo jiné se budeme bavit i o tom, jak se vězni navzájem likvidují. Takže se pohodlně usaďte, zapněte si titulky a jdem na to. Second story. Today we are gonna talk about fights in a jail. Let's start like that. How often you can see a fight in a jail and how often you can see a fight in prison?
I wouldn't say every day. I would say probably about 3 to 4 times a month.
Okay.
So
once a week?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, maybe about once a week. Yeah, that's about right. These guys, they'll fight for any reason. It's because they don't like you, they don't like the gang you're in, or maybe you joined a group of guys that they don't like, or they think you're weak and they just want to beat you up because they can.
Okay. How you can pretty much protect yourself from not getting beat up?
In prison?
Yes.
Find the right people to back you up.
Okay.
So there are groups in prison. Some are, I guess, more like, okay, don't mess with this group because you're messing with the wrong group. It's kind of like gangs. And then if you find somebody who has, you know, some respect within the prison, and the guys will leave him alone, and you get his respect, then they'll start leaving you alone. So basically in prison, it's all about respect. If they don't respect you, they're gonna walk on you. Okay. And if they walk on you, they're gonna beat you up.
Besides, like, you know, the gang stuff, what is like the other reason why they fight?
That's pretty much it.
But they know that they're gonna get punished for that, and they still do it.
They still do it.
Okay, so how often, we already know how often it happens, but how often it happens that you see a blood, or you see like somebody maybe dead, or how often is that? So, because fight, sorry to interrupt you, because fight for me, it means two guys, okay, they exchange a few hits and then all good, somebody splits them.
So generally when they fight, it's pretty much 4 guys on 1, 6 guys on 1, 8 guys on 1. So
it's like in my city, similar.
Yeah, so basically, you know, you got 4, 6, 8 guys beating on 1 guy, and yeah, you're gonna see blood because you got 8 guys beating on 1 guy. You're gonna see blood. The guy's gonna have injuries, broken ribs, collarbones, bones, whatever, major internal bleeding. And if they have shanks and they're stabbing him, yeah, he's gonna have major wounds and injuries.
So they go 4 to 6 on 1. So they don't go there with interest just to beat him. If somebody goes 4 on 1, they go to kill him.
That's their intention, yes.
So pretty much, you want to say that every intention of every fight is to kill that person?
That they're trying to make an example of somebody.
Gain respect.
For respect, yes. And when you're in prison, sometimes they will tell you, if you want to get respect, we need you to kill this guy over here.
But you're gonna get extra years for that.
Right, exactly, you will. And so, but this is the world in prisons. You know, if you want to survive in prison and you want to not be picked on and beat up on, or you know, have to watch your back 24/7, then you're gonna do what they're asking you to do. I mean, you adapt. You adapt in prison, just like any environment that you're in. You'll adapt to it. So these guys will just adapt, and they're just going to be like, okay, well, I have to do this. I have to kill this guy because, you know, I got no other choice.
My gang wants that. Okay, so is there any way how you can say that, for example, I'm going to be black, okay? I'm going to be a member of some black gang, right? Is there a chance that the gang is like killing members within like its own gang, or it's always like they fight against like a different race, or?
Yeah, so race on race, yeah, they will beat each other up. And sometimes they just don't like you, or you say something wrong to them, and they don't like that, and then they go and start. They're like kids, okay? It's a lot like kids. A lot of these guys are very uneducated, and they're just adapting to what's around them and not really thinking. Mm-hmm. So they'll get influenced and say, you know what, this guy looked at me funny, I don't like him, so let's beat him up. Let's stab him. Let's make an example of him and show these guys that, you know, we're tough.
Last time I remember you told me it's only you and there's 80 guys. How, if fight starts, how you can split them? There's no way you can split them. If there is 8 on 1,
Right.
you need at least 8 other officers
Yeah.
to split them. And I'm not even talking about the other inmates that are around that can be dangerous as well. And you can, I guess, lock them somewhere
Right.
to calm down the situation, right? So how you deal with that? You have to wait for some backup to come.
So-
how long it takes? That guy's dead.
So basically, when you're in a dorm with the 80 guys, you have your lieutenant who's in the watchtower, basically looking over all 4 of the dorms that you're in. So, like I said, you have a walkie-talkie, you have your baton,
That's great.
and your whistle. Basically, you just call it in. You call in your fight. Backup comes.
How
They'll
long it
come in.
takes?
It doesn't take that long, maybe about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That
Yeah.
guy's dead in like 5 seconds.
Well, somebody will be, but at least what they do is they'll come in 5 minutes, everybody starts getting broken up, and of course you've got somebody who's injured, maybe more than one. You take those the ones that are injured down to the infirmary where they'll get the medical help that's needed, and they'll get overlooked to make sure that there's nothing majorly wrong with them. And I mean, that's all you can do. There's nothing more you can do in the dorms. In the dorms, it doesn't happen as often because, like I said, these guys are in there because they're,
it's like a low security.
yeah.
Okay.
They're in there for good behavior. They're in there because they're coming up on parole or probation, or their sentence is about to end.
Okay.
And they don't want to jeopardize that.
Yeah,
they want to get
true.
out. You know, you've been in prison for so long. Of course, you want to
And
get
now
out.
we want to get out.
Yeah. So those things don't really happen as much as they would in the maximum security. Maximum security, they'll happen all the time. All the time.
I'm just like shocked that it takes actually 5 minutes, because from jiu-jitsu I know it takes 6 seconds to lose conscious if somebody chokes you.
Yeah.
The fact that you can be whatever unconscious, whatever, for several minutes and they are just beating you, stabbing you or something, that is crazy, and it takes 5 minutes for somebody to actually come and start calming down the situation.
Right.
How many fights that led to death have you seen?
Ooh, I don't even know. More than my hands, my fingers.
Really?
I've seen a lot, yeah. So, but because these guys get stabbed so many times that they bleed out. And half the times, you know, you're getting stabbed, and sometimes you get stabbed in major arteries, and most of the time they're stabbing you wherever they can. And some people I've seen people get stabbed in the neck, the back, the sides, their legs, their arms. I mean, I've seen them stabbed. I've seen a guy who was stabbed at least 20 times or more. And this guy was just like, wow. I'm like, you guys did a number on this one, man. I couldn't believe that these guys did this. And I told him, I said, what were you guys thinking?
You were talking to people who killed,
Yeah.
you know, you are talking
Well,
to...
I had to. You know, I'm
You are
guarding
talking
them.
to convict
Yeah.
killer without a court because you saw him stabbing
Yeah.
someone, and you talk to that person after.
Yeah.
What does it make you feel when you talk to somebody like this?
Well,
you know what he did, you saw it, and then you talk to him.
In my mind, I'm scared as hell. I'm like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah, I
I'm
bet.
like, I'm scared as hell, but I can't show that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I can't show that side to these guys because to them that's weakness. So I'd just sit there and I'd be like, what were you guys thinking? Why would you do this? You're just adding on more time to being here. Well, I'm going to be in here for life, so it doesn't really matter. That their mindset is just so negative. It's so negative. They don't see any positive. They don't want to change their life in any way. This is their life.
I just can't imagine that you can talk to somebody who literally in front of your eyes killed somebody. It doesn't matter how bad or good that person was. It's still a murder.
Right.
And you have to talk to him and share the same space and environment.
Right.
In last video, we forget to mention how long and how often did you work?
I worked 6 days a week, 14 to 17 hours a day.
Life of correctional officer. So no personal life, no family life.
No.
I cannot imagine that you are there with those type of guys. Have you seen somebody killing somebody with a shank, and that person who is the killer has a bachelor degree or some master in science or something? Like, let's say smart, educated
Yeah.
people who just turn to be freaks. Or it's always people with no family background, from South Central who have no school. They've been members of gangs since 10 years old.
Yeah.
Would you be able to segregate it by that?
Yeah, no. These guys, like I said, I think I said before in my first video, I don't get to read all the cases.
Yeah.
And unless they tell me what they're in there for,
okay.
I don't really know.
Okay.
So most of the guys I don't know unless over the years you find out what they're in there for.
Okay.
So this guy, I know one guy who used to come over and talk to me. I mean, you get bombarded daily with 90, 80, 100 questions a day. And they're coming over saying, hey, my toothbrush broke, I need another one. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do about it?
So you are not irritated by my dumb questions because you can handle much more?
They're not dumb. These are not dumb questions.
She can handle much more. 80 questions a day about my toothbrush is broken. Help me.
Well,
okay, so now I'm like, okay.
When I was in the maximum security, I used to do my rounds and I'd walk to every single cell and I would just they would say, hey, I got a question. I need, more supplies for, like my bedding sheets, or I need, toiletries or something like that. So I would stand there and I would listen to every single one when I was doing rounds. And I remember one guy used to tell me all the time, how come you're the only officer who listens to us? And I said, I am? I'm the only officer that listens? Yeah, every time we ask somebody else a question, they just don't want to hear it. And I go, well, what's your question? So they'd ask me, and it was a stupid question. I said, well, maybe because it's a stupid question. And then they would be like, really, Tadeo, really? And I'd be like,
thanks
okay,
for being honest.
And they go, well, thanks for listening to us. So sometimes they would thank me for actually listening to even their stupid questions. But I mean, I was a bitch at times, but I was also a smart ass because I was like, that was my way of defending myself, just kind of
from a fight.
Yeah, so I remember I would do my rounds all the time. I'd do my rounds and go walking, and these guys would all say, walking, walking, so they could put all their stuff away.
They like yell?
Yeah.
So you hear them?
Yeah, and I'm here, I'm doing my rounds, I hear them, and they're like yelling, walking, walking, and they're putting all their contraband away, the big stuff that they didn't want me to find. And then I would tell these guys all the time, I'm like, I'm not walking, I'm Tadeo. And then they would start laughing, oh, you're funny, Tadeo, you're funny. And I'm like, I know, I'll be here all week.
I'll be sorry, I'm on my shift. Okay, let's get a little bit back into that fighting thing, since that was the topic I wanted to talk about. Is there any specific area where you can tell that those kind of fights or attempting murders in prisons are happening? Is it the cells, or is it the bathroom, or is it the elevator, or whatever?
Fights can happen anywhere, from the chow hall to the yard.
What's chow hall?
Chow hall is like it's like the food area where they go and get their breakfast, lunch, and their dinner. We call it chow hall. So fights can break out there. Fights can break out in the dorms, in the cells, during movement, in the yards. They can break out pretty much anywhere. And it just depends on when these guys plan on making their moves. A lot of them are we'll do it during movement. They'll do it right in front of officers. They know these officers are around, and sometimes they wait for us to do our rounds, and they'll say, is she gone, or is he gone? And once they get the word that, yeah, they're gone, that's when they'll start doing their stuff.
So they will do it in front of the officer. Let's say officer standing, how far from the murder?
Maybe about 10, 20 feet.
20 feet, so 6 meters away. And they will start to murder, because they know if they hit him to the neck, to the artery, the guy's fucked, right?
Right.
That is crazy.
These guys know where to stab somebody, and sometimes
they're doctors.
If it's planned,
they know anatomy.
If it's planned, and they want if you're trying to earn respect in prison, you're new in prison and you're trying to earn respect, and they tell you, we need you to stab this guy, and when you stab him in the neck, or when you stab him right here in the side, or something like that. They'll tell him specifically how to do it.
Let's imagine a situation that the victim of the victim, it's crazy to call that guy a victim because he's there for murder, but let's say this victim of this a fight is gonna not get killed, and he's gonna be in the hospital or some I'm sure that they don't put him to the cell after the fight.
No.
If he's bleeding and everything.
No.
But he will eventually come back.
Yeah. Once he's healed, they'll move him back into
Same thing.
the cell environment. They may even move him out of that environment and put him into a different dorm or different cell area just to get him away from the guys that were trying to beat up on him or trying to kill him. They'll segregate them so that way it doesn't happen. Or they'll move the guys that beat him up. They'll move them to another area. It just depends on.
Have you seen a situation that they would actually like get, you know, the guy would survive, they would put him back in, and then they would kill him eventually?
No.
No?
Mm-mm. No.
Okay.
They
like
have
they
one.
would like
They have. This is why they tell these guys. The inmates will tell each other when they want to kill somebody, they'll tell them, you have one chance and one chance only. Because once this guy gets stabbed or they beat up or whatever it is that they're trying to do to this guy, once we stop the fight, we segregate them. So they get one chance. So he's either dead or he survives.
I don't understand this mentality at all. Like it's horrible, but on its highest level. Like,
right.
It's crazy. Okay, last question. The fight happened, we know when it happened, how often it happens. What is gonna be the punishment for the guys who actually did it?
Okay, so that's, if the guy dies, it's murder. These guys will face murder charges. If the guy survives, it's attempted murder charges. So then that gets added on to the sentences that they've already got. So if they're facing 15 years, now they're facing murder charges, maybe another 20, maybe 25, 30, depending on the severity of whether they killed the guy or attempted to kill the guy.
Okay. If you have a gun outside, you know, in this world, and you are not allowed to have a gun, it's a holding of illegal weapon, right? In prison, you have a knife. It's a weapon that you are not supposed to have.
Right.
Are you gonna also be charged for holding like an illegal weapon or no?
Yeah, they'll charge you for everything. They'll charge you for the assault with the weapon. They'll charge you for, so you get charged for many different things depending on, mainly they'll go for the attempted murder or murder charge. Because having a deadly weapon is not as severe as murder or attempted murder. So they'll go for the higher charges versus the lower ones. But they can pretty much take you to court for all the charges. And you can be charged for everything from holding a dangerous weapon, or illegally having a dangerous weapon, to attempted murder or murder.
That is sick. Okay, and after that sentence, I'm expecting they're gonna be sent to hall, to correction as well, right?
Yeah. So the guys, yes, we do put them in a holding cell where they have no
light.
They have light, but it's very
no window.
No window, no physical contact with human beings other than the officers who are just checking on them, giving them their food, and that's it. They don't get to talk to anybody for X amount of time, depending on what they did and how long that we feel that they need to be down there.
Okay, thank you for answering my questions. This is crazy. Guys, comment below if you think that this happens in Czech prisons. Again, I don't think so, because this kind of stuff, 8 prisoners jumping and one trying to kill him, this is crazy topic. Thank you one more time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Tak jo, tohle bylo další video s americkou dozorkyní. Já doufám, že se vám líbilo, ale je na čase pomalu, ale jistě tohle téma opouštět, protože je na čase se posunout někam dál. Zároveň vám chci strašně moc poděkovat za to, jak moc dobře jste ohodnotili celou tuhle sérii videí a kolik z vás se odhodlalo k tomuto video sdílet a ukázat ho dalším lidem, svým kamarádům a známým. Což je pro mě jako tvůrce strašně motivující k tomu, abych dělal další díly a abych ty videa dělal dál a dělal víc kvalitněji, scháněl další zajímavé hosty a celkově tu tvorbu zlepšoval. Takže vám fakt moc děkuji. Dokonce poslední video je v současné chvíli 15. v trendech, což je strašně super, protože já si nepamatuju, že bych tento rok byl vůbec v trendech. A pokud jsem byl, tak jsem rozhodně nebyl na tak vysokém místě. Jo. 15. místo pro mě je fakt super. Současně ještě vyjde jedno video na tohle téma, protože to budou otázky a odpovědi, které se objevovaly nejčastěji pod předchozími videemi. Rozhodli jsme se, že ještě nad rámec toho, co jsem se ptal z řad diváků přímo ve videu, tak uděláme ještě samostatné video, kde těch otázek probereme trošku víc. A taky tam totiž někteří z vás našli určité témata, které já jsem třeba vůbec neprobral, takže jsem je do toho zahrnul, takže se můžete těšit ještě příště na jedno video s dozorkyní. Zároveň někdo do komentářů napsal, že by bylo fajn vyspovídat taky někoho, kdo třeba byl součást toho vězeňského systému, ale z druhé strany, jako vězeň. Já když jsem nad tím přemýšlel, tak mi prakticky došlo, že znám jednoho kluka, který byl v americkém vězení. Vůbec nevím za co, vůbec nevím, jestli by byl schopen mi něco o tom říct na kameru, jestli by vůbec chtěl, ale můžu to zkusit. Pokud byste měli zájem, tak já se ho můžu zkusit zeptat, možná ho nějakým způsobem přesvědčím a možná z toho zase vznikne nějaké zajímavé video. Současně teďka jsem oslovil ještě pár dalších mojich kamarádů, kteří si myslím, že mají zajímavé profese, a můj kámoš, který pracoval jako mechanik v americké armádě v severní Dakotě několik let, tak mi řekl, že by mi rozhovor klidně poskytl. Samozřejmě nemůže mluvit o nějakých interních věcech, ale může mi říct, jak probíhá výcvik, jak se tam dostanete, jak třeba probíhá ta služba a tak dále. Takže pokud byste měli na něho nějaké otázky, tak je můžete zase opět napsat do komentářů. A taky moje kamarádka, která pracuje jako programátorka tady v LA, tak taky souhlasila, že by se mnou právě takový rozhovor o své práci natočila. Na ní otázky můžete psát taky. A myslím, že video s ní bude unikátní i v tom, protože ona se do Ameriky dostala přes práci. Ona je totiž původně z Turecka a dostala se tady, protože tady společnost, pro kterou pracuje, ji strašně chtěla, protože je hodně dobrá. A ona vám může i popsat, jak probíhá ten legální proces, když si vás vybere americká firma jako zaměstnance. To znamená, pokud je tady třeba někdo jako šikovný programátor a chtěl by třeba pracovat v Americe, tak si myslím, že tohle video by mohlo být pro něho nebo pro ní hodně informačně nabité prostě informacema. Takže pokud byste měli zájem nebo otázky i na ní, tak to můžete psát taky do komentářů. Takže tohle by bylo úplně všechno pro dnešní video. Strašně moc děkuji vám všem, kdo sdílíte tyhle videa, kdo je lajkujete, kdo jste si vypl adblock a kdo prostě se mnou tvoříte tenhle obsah. Díky moc a zase uvidíme příště u něčeho zajímavého. Čau.